Hey everybody, it's Steve Van Tassel here for Dynasty Owner. And we're back. We have our final, this is the final video for the season, for the 2021 season. It's actually a little bit different this week in that it's not a preview video. We don't have anything to preview for week 18 because there are no Dynasty Owner games, even though there's NFL games. So basically we have a week 17 recap. It's going to be a little bit shorter than normal, hopefully. And we're going to go over some of the stuff that you saw. If you checked out the live stream on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we had our new Chase for the Ring champion Jeff on. Skol Vikings is his team, and we talked to him for about an hour about everything that went on in the season, how he did it, what he was feeling like, and everything like that. It's great. So go watch that if you can on YouTube or listen to it on your podcast. And if you're watching this video right now or listening to it, give us the thumbs up. That would be great. I'd appreciate it. And you can read the article that accompanies this video. It's called Chasing Down a Champion, and it should be on dynastyowner.com in the article section pretty soon. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the players, some of my recommendations for the week, and basically, go over, basically, it was week 17. It was the playoffs or your third place game or your champion or your losers bracket tournament championship game. And you needed to start the best players, the players who you think are going to get the most Dynasty Owner fantasy points for the week, not players who have done it for the whole season, but who you think are going to get it for that week, which is the important thing. Just because somebody's done it for the whole season doesn't mean you think they're going to do it for this week, and you need to pick your starters accordingly. Things can happen. Players come out of the woodwork in the Dynasty Owner playoffs at the end of the season. So with that, we're going to go to the recap. It's pretty simple this week. And the first thing we're going to do is acknowledge our champion. This is our Chase for the Ring champion. His name is Jeff. His team was Skol Vikings. He was in League 31927. And as you can see, he had 2,941.6 Dynasty Owner fantasy points, and he finished with a 15-1 record. He actually lost in week 2, and I believe he lost by about 5 points to another team in his league. But then he reeled off 14 straight victories, all those Dynasty Owner fantasy points. Different scoring system, but I think he had more than anybody else. We'll have to check that out in the future. But congratulations, Jeff. Like I said, go listen or watch the live stream. It was a great conversation with him about what happened. So thanks a lot. And this is what happened in the final week. As you can see, it wasn't a romp. He was playing a team that finished the season 9-5. They were the defending champs, which he was very proud of winning. And he won by 12, a little over 12 Dynasty Owner fantasy points, despite having a couple of tough spots in his lineup. So you can see that in the article from last week and from the other day, and the video. But needless to say, congratulations to Jeff. It was great. And also great were the undefeated Dynasty Owner teams. We had 2 of them this year. Not Jeff, because he was 15-1. We had Dynasty Trade School, Mad Minshew in League 27458, who finished in 3rd place. Congratulations, Rudy. And then we had Detroit's Finest in League 74733, who finished overall in 7th place. Congratulations to Tyler on that accomplishment. So now what we're going to do is we're not going to go over the players who did well. You can read that in the article. You might know based on what happened during the week. Let's just say that Jamar Chase had an incredible week. He was our Dynasty Owner Player of the Week. Braxton Berrios was the Value Player of the Week. He also had a fine week. But these were the guys who I said should be in your starting lineup this week. So let's see how they all did. And I had predicted that you should start Justin Fields, which was a little wacky, I thought, Boston Scott, Michael Gallup, and Gerald Everett this week. And the results were middle of the road. Fields is what happens when you have to predict early. He had been practicing limited on Wednesday and Thursday when I wrote the article, and then he didn't play. So that was an NA, not applicable. Boston Scott had a great week, 24.6 Dynasty Owner fantasy points. That was a good suggestion. Michael Gallup, he had 12.6 Dynasty Owner fantasy points. That was just okay, but with a caveat that he probably was trending towards a good week because he had all those points in the first half, and then he got injured on the touchdown reception and didn't play again for the rest of the game. He probably would have been good if he had been able to play more than a half. And the last player was Gerald Everett, who'd been doing great with Russell Wilson back at quarterback for Seattle. And Wilson had a great week, but Everett didn't do much. He had 6.6 dynasty owner fantasy points. That was very bad. That was not very bad, but that was bad. So let's check out these guys should be on your bench or practice squad this week. And I had recommended having Justin Herbert, Alvin Kamara, Terry McLaurin, and Kyle Pitts on your bench this week. Big names. And let's see how those predictions went. And two okay and two bad. Nothing good. Nobody that I picked really had a stinker of a week. I didn't pick Dalvin Cook or Ezekiel Elliott. And here, those were two guys who could have been, listed as a stinker. And Dawson Knox, he had a Blutarski, 0.0 dynasty on fantasy points. But the players predicted here, Justin Herbert had 24 points, and we're calling that just okay, even though he's probably like about the QB 10. There weren't really 12 teams playing this week, but we kept the same criteria. But it's just most of all the players who were above Herbert or around him, who people could have had playing, they all did better than him. So, I mean, that was just okay. Some of them you might have lost a few points. If you had him or Joe Burrow as your decision, you lost like 27 points, but can't really fault you for starting somebody with 24 points who was the number 3 quarterback. The next prediction was Alvin Kamara, and he did a lot better than I anticipated. He had 21 dynasty owner fantasy points, so that recommendation was bad. Terry McLaurin also was a bad recommendation. He had 13.1 dynasty owner fantasy points, and the reason why it was bad was he was kind of on the fringe of being a just okay recommendation. But there were a lot of guys who did worse. And so I just don't think that was a good recommendation. And finally, we have Kyle Pitts. He had 8.9 dynasty owner fantasy points. So that result was just okay. I think he was on the cusp of being a low-end starter, high-end bench person. So that's pretty much when you get to that stage, that's about the definition of just okay. So that's it for this week. It was a short one because we don't have preview. We don't have players to tell you to start or anything. And we already talked all about the chase for the ring in the live stream. So I'm pitching that. You should really go check that out. Thanks a lot for watching all these videos, reading all my articles over the course of the season. Like I said, please smash the like button if you don't mind. We appreciate it here at Dynasty Owner. And stay tuned. There's a lot more content, even content this week. Jay's going to do his free agent auction targets of the year. Matt the Jerk's going to talk about his league winners and some of the players of the year. And then we'll all be back the following week for off-season content. Off-season. There is no off-season. I mean, we just aren't playing fantasy games, but there's still plenty to talk about, contracts to discuss, players to recommend, just all sorts of stuff related to contracts, free agency, rookie drafts, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll be covering it all here on Dynasty Owner. So please make sure to follow the Dynasty Owner channel on YouTube. Watch our videos, read our articles, grab another Dynasty Owner team if you want to do another startup. We'll be having stuff about startups soon. And thanks a lot. It was a great 2021 season. Hope you won a championship. If not, hope you at least won something. Couple million Dynasty dollars, maybe some cash. And know that we'll be back helping you. So maybe you can be here at the beginning and be our 2022 Dynasty Owner Chase for the Ring champion. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great day. It was a great season. Bye.